it's Liz from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you very much for joining me again today. All a bit scatty today, things just have conspired against me, but I'm here. So this is the project that I have made for the One Stamp at a Time blog hop, and our theme this month is you've got this, encouragement, that sort of thing. So I've made this little carrier for someone going back to school, starting a new job, that sort of thing. So I've got pens and eraser in that end, and in this end I've actually made a little box which you can fill with treats or more stationery or anything you want, really. But I thought it was quite a nice little treat. And then I've got a tag with a little something for you. So this is not specifically Christmas, although I've used the Heartwarming Hugs Designer Series paper and items from that suite in the August-December catalogue. The one I'm going to make now is going to be the same but different, if you get my drift. So I'm using the Trimming the Town suite. So I've got my paper ready for my cup. I've got some paper ready to wrap around my box. It's all double-sided, so it's all good. Now, first things first, yes, this is one of our little carriers. What I highly recommend, they come in a box of, I want to say 8. And the first thing I would do is to bend it pretty much in every direction that you could possibly think and give it a reasonably good burnish, because otherwise it's going to have a tendency to want to be that way, which we don't want. I'm not going to put it together just yet because I'm going to be wrapping it flat, but then I will show you how to do that. But that would be the first thing I would do. For my cup, I have one of our mini coffee cups and a lid which comes in the same box. So they come in they come in this box, mini coffee cups. I don't think they're that mini, actually. I often drink a flat white and you often get it in that size. So, yeah. I have to say I have had to sacrifice a cup because I wanted a template. So to do that, all I did was unroll the top, sort of peel the bottom. So once this is unrolled, I kind of opened that seam up and then peeled the bottom off and trimmed it. I have then drawn round a template. Now this bit is the bit that goes here. What I found is that actually you want it a little shorter than the original cup, and I will show you why when we get there. Partly it's because I've gone into the rolled section, it's slightly shorter but slightly longer. So as I say, we'll deal with that when we get there, which is actually about now. So let me pop those to one side. I'm going to wrap my mug or my cup first. The thing to bear in mind when you're wrapping your cup is you want a non-directional paper. So on my original, I used the crosses, which they are directional, but when you look at them, they don't shout directional. If I were to have used the stripes, it would have been very obvious that they were going on a curve. So try and choose, and the trees would be very obvious if they were on a curve. Probably not too bad, but I've used the polka dots specifically because they are definitely non-directional, and you can see that my wrap is a pretty good fit around my cup. It's a little long still. I've actually cut quite a bit off my template. I've cut that much off my template, but I'd rather it was a little bit long so that I can then trim it. To attach it, super easy. I'm going to attach it to the mug, to the cup, and to itself. So I'm going to add some seal to both inside edges of my paper. You might want to use Seal Plus, it's personal choice. But then you can just wrap it round, just make sure that everything's reasonably square, reasonably taut. So I'm just pressing that down as I go, pulling as I wrap, and then press down, and you've got your nicely covered cup. I will trim the bottom because obviously we want it to have a nice neat bottom, and I'm just going to use my snips, and in the same way that I trim designer series paper off a card front, I'm just running my snips next to the card base and just snipping, and then we've got a nice flat surface for our cup to sit on. So I'm going to finish the cup and then I will come back and do the box. So actually no, I won't, because I need a bit of the box in order to finish my cup. Or do I? No, I don't. I'm used to be indecisive, and actually yes I do. Sorry, yeah. So let's do the box. I told you this morning was a bit of a disaster. Right, so the box, when it's flat, is just over 8.5 inches, and our paper of course comes in either 12 by 12 or 6 by 6. The one side is just under 6 inches. So what I've got is a piece of designer series paper that is full width. It's 2 inches tall, and I'm just going to feed it round my box to the point where it's going to be at the back. I'm going to just trim that little bit off, because then it's going to be nice and neat. So all you need to do for that is just, what I tend to do is just get a pencil and mark it, and then I know that if I trim that off it's going to be long enough. So I'm just going to very quickly, you can use your trimmer if you would rather, but I'm just going to trim that off. This is going to be the over, because I want a shorter piece to be the under. So this is my other piece. It's a very sort of higgledy-piggledy pattern, so I'm not worrying about matching the pattern. Let's decide which. So this is going to be the back because it's already got a seam. So all I need to do is fold one end so that that will be the overlap. So that will be our overlap there, and then fold the other end there, so that will be our overlap at that end. Now you can trim those down a little bit if you like. I'm probably going to trim them a wee bit. I don't want to go mad, just in case. But down to what I would call a generous 1/2 inch, so 1.5 centimetres, that sort of thing. So pop those in my waste bin. So what I'm going to do is start by attaching one side to the other, so one piece to the other piece. Actually I'm going to put my adhesive on here, then I can make sure that it's right on the, just need to get that started, right on the edge of my paper, like that, and then I can, making sure that the people are all standing the right way up, I can just add one piece to the other piece. Let's just make sure on my filthy dirty grid paper that that is lined up, which it is. So this is our back, because we've got a seam, so we can then just bring this round. I'm making this look so much harder than it actually is. As I say, it's just been one of those mornings, and it's now one of those afternoons. So let's just get that basically where I want it within the box. There we go, and then I can just add some adhesive to this, and we are good to go. So just make sure I get right on the edge there, and have that flat. Pull everything tight, And pop that onto there. And then we've got our nice wrap, and it will stay in place. If you're worried about it slipping, you can always add some more adhesive. So now I can close my box. So you want to put in the piece with the rectangle cut out first, then your two side pieces, and I like to give them a bit of an encouragement to actually crease, and then you just pop the two pieces together like that. And of course our mug is going to pop in very easily at one end. But we want to turn the other end into a box. So I have here a piece of cardstock. This is 8 5/8 by 5 5/8. I know it's a really inconvenient size because it's just too long for either North American cardstock or International A4 to cut it from a width. But sorry. Okay, so we want, I have to do this backwards. We want to score at 2 1/4. I'm 99% certain that's right. So score at 2 1/4 inches, and then 1/2 inch. And then this should be the right height or length for the flap. I'm hoping. And then you just score from each end at 2 7/8. So from one end and from the other end. Now I could say score at X and Y, but just do 2 7/8 from each end. Let's not have too many measurements, eh? So I've actually found my bone folder. I put it somewhere where I could find it. So strange in my life. So there isn't actually a bottom to this box. There are 3 sides, a lid and some extra bits. So for the extra bits, we are going to cut straight down the middle panel, and it's the one with the 1/2 inch, the extra 1/2 inch on it. This is actually the square. This is a square. Without the flap, it's a square. So you want to cut so that you're cutting away your score line, and then do the same again over here. So cut away the score line, and then trim these. Again, I'm looking at a generous 1/2 inch, 1.5 centimetres there or thereabouts, and try and get them reasonably even, like that. And I am just going to trim away the very edge, so get rid of the score line. It's not vital that you do that, but it just ends up with a neater box. And we're then going to use one of these for, actually we're going to use both of these for this particular box, so there's no waste. Hurrah! So I've got my detail trio punch, so I want my corner rounder. So I'm going to corner round my corners for my lid and my flaps. And if you fold everything in, you can do the insides as well as the outside. Like that. So we've got nice rounded corners. And bring in our box. I will take out the mug for the moment. And all we need to do is add adhesive here. I had some, there it is. So you add some adhesive. You do not want it on the back. You only want it on the 2 side panels, not here, because that's going into the space. So that's going to fill this gap here. But you do want the sides to be stuck to the sides of the box. Then fold those in, pop your piece of card in, and then just make sure you press everything into place so that you can make your little box. Isn't that cute? Now I have a 1/2 inch hole punch still, we don't do it anymore, but I do find that because this is actually slightly into the box, just a little nick out makes it easier to then open the lid of the box. So just there, just makes it that little bit easier. And I've got a piece of the same paper that I've wrapped the mug in for the top of the box. Now you could put this on before you put it into your carrier, and that would be easier. And this is, I want to say 1/4 of an inch smaller in each direction. So 2 5/8 square. So that is our lid nicely covered, and because we've got these bits, it's not going anywhere. So that and that. Right, now we're on the last leg. So I've got my 2 bits of scrap, and I'm going to punch one of them with the Essential Tag Punch, which is in the mini catalogue. And I'm going to, the other one, I'm going to stamp using the what do we call it, Warm Hugs stamp set, and I'm doing the For You stamp. So I feel as if I've forgotten something. Oh, and I've just remembered what it is, and I actually haven't forgotten it. I just can't find where I've put it. I put it somewhere sensible. So I've already got a Whisper White of the Essential Tag. This I'm going to ink up in Misty Moonlight because it is the dark blue that is in the Designer Series paper. So I'm going to ink that up and stamp it there. I'm deliberately making this also a not Christmas project because you can. Actually, I need that out still. So from the Wrapped in Christmas stamp set, I'm using the A Little Something For You, which again is non-Christmas specific, and I haven't put the labels on the back of my stamp yet. Naughty demonstrator. It's fine, it doesn't matter if it's straight or not, because it's kind of meant to not be straight. So that's our stamping done. So I'll pop those to one side to clean. I just need to die cut this, and then we're on the last leg. So my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and just going to, I'm very excited, I'm about to get my magnetic base plate. Can't wait. It's due to arrive tomorrow. And it's all magnetic. So it's a cutting pad, and the whole thing is magnetic. So, yay! Right, so that is die cut. Let's just get that out, get rid of my machine, my beautiful machine. I know I keep saying it, but you do know you can get that for just £99 and get £18 of free product and 2 stamp sets, and some cardstock and some rhinestones just by signing up to join my team. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, just in case you hadn't heard me say that. Right, so this is going to go on to the lid of my cup. I'm just going to try and encourage that bit to go in a little, because then this will actually go into that space. I'm just going to use one dimensional, and this is from the same dies, so it's the, I didn't tell you, did I? It's the, what do we call them, Warm Wraps dies, which have got a stitch circle, a multi-sided, it's octagon, die, little heart, mug, star, Christmas tree, bow, and bits to make a wrap, which will just, you know, be a narrow wrap around your cup. I wanted something a little bit more, so I'm just going to add this to my Misty Moonlight with a small amount of adhesive. It doesn't need much. I do like the liquid adhesive for this because it means I can pop it on and have some hope of getting it in the middle. There we go. So this I'm going to pop onto the top of my cup. And then I've die cut a heart out of the velvet paper, which is gorgeous. Again, this is in the mini catalogue, and just one dimensional on the back of that. And pop that in there. Now, what am I going to do with this is the first thing I should be asking myself. I've got one of our retired 1/8 inch hole punches. So I'm going to line those two up together and then just punch a hole. You could use, sorry, I'm knocking the camera. You could use a standard 1/4 inch hole punch. Perfectly fine. Oh, no, I've just remembered something. I need another dimensional for that because I'm going to offset it. So line up your holes before you then stick it down. And then I've got some of the Poppy Parade Trimming the Town ribbon. It comes in Poppy Parade and Old Olive, and it's got this lovely metallic edge to it. And I'm just going to cut a length. Pop that away. So, bring this back in. Pop this through our handle and tie it. I'm just going to tie it in a knot after the joy I had with my last knot on my last bow on camera, which you haven't seen yet. Oh my word. Yeah. I'm going for a knot today. Much easier. So that's our tag. I do think it needs a little bit of trimming up, so I'm going to add some of these lovely all the trimming embellishments, and I'm going to use some of the Poppy Parade ones for no other reason than I can. And it then does tie the Poppy Parade together nicely. So what am I going to put in this kit? I thought it would make a really nice, I just want that up a little further, a really nice box for a young girl, young lady. It fits, and yes, I have chosen the nearest colours I can find to Poppy Parade and Misty Moonlight. It fits 3 Nails Inc nail varnishes. So we can pop those in there. You could do one with a base coat and a top coat. Then some cotton wool balls, not balls, pads, and some nail remover. Pop all that into our little basket. And we have a perfect little manicure set for some teenage girl. Or we can go for the more grown-up version with our stationery kit. So I hope you found that helpful, useful. Remember, you could put anything in these boxes. You could do a double-ended box. Might have to do a double-ended box. Just thinking. But yes, you can put all sorts of things. I've seen people put plants in them, all sorts. So think outside the box. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Sorry it's terribly late. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye!